The remains of the German capital's notorious landmark, the Berlin Wall, could soon make way for a 14-story luxury apartment block. And it seems that the trend for reshaping Berlin is only gaining momentum, with more new buildings rising up just as quickly as real estate prices keep soaring. RT's Peter Oliver reports on how this is actually affecting the lives of the city's lifelong residents.
Poor but sexy. That's how Berlin's mayor lovingly described his city. Now, some Berliners feel this way of life is coming under threat.
Here in
Kreuzberg, we've seen big changes over the past 10 years. More and more apartment buildings have been built in areas where people traditionally used to rent. What we're seeing is people being forced from their homes.
Real estate prices in Berlin have shot up by 32% since 2007, well ahead of the German average. This has resulted in some tenants being evicted as their rented flats are sold from underneath them, prompting anger and demonstrations from those who see the city's identity being sold to the highest bidder.
Our problem here is that Berlin is turning into a city split between the haves and have-nots. Rising prices have forced people who have lived here for years to move out, and those who have come don't mix.
This year has seen an increase in the amount of protests against the gentrification of Berlin, as well as growing resentment towards other Germans and foreigners moving into the city. For the most part, the public image of Berlin is still poor but sexy. However, times are changing. The new emerging face of Berlin is certainly stylish. However, it's also becoming increasingly unaffordable due to the demand from people wanting to live in a desirable location. Economically viable and politically secure, Berlin is becoming the place of choice for Southern Europeans to invest in during turbulent times in their own countries. Katrin sells and rents property to Italians.
One of the main reasons our customers are buying here is that there is no trust in the Italian economy or the banks. People see an apartment in Berlin as a good way to preserve the value of their savings.
What about the claims that the real estate boom is stealing Berlin's soul?
This is progress. Berlin is developing. Sure, it presents some challenges, but this is just the same as when the wall came down and people moved into new areas. If anything, this creates the multiculturalism that makes Berlin what it is.
New housing developments are being built all around the city to try and accommodate demand. However, with rental prices having risen by 90% in the last decade, it does seem that the writing is on the wall for the dream of an affordable life in the German capital. Peter Oliver, RT, Berlin.